We have all met them. The person who walks into a room and sucks the oxygen out of it. The colleague who interrupts you to explain something you already know. The relative who turns every family dinner into a lecture on why they are right and you are wrong. Arrogance. It is one of the most irritating human traits. When we encounter an arrogant person, our biological instinct, our fight or flight response kicks in. We feel the urge to fight back. We want to put them in their place. We want to out-debate them, out-shout them, or humiliate them to prove a point. But the Stoics, masters of human psychology like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, understood a fundamental truth about arrogance that most people miss. They understood that arrogance is not a sign of strength. It is a sign of weakness. It is a fragile wall built to hide a deep insecurity. When you fight an arrogant person with aggression, you are just throwing rocks at their wall. You make them defensive. You make them loud. You enter a battle of egos, where no one wins and everyone loses their peace of mind. But what if you didn't fight the wall? What if you simply removed the foundation? Today we are going to learn the art of Stoic disarmament. We are going to learn 5 specific, psychologically devastated phrases that stop an arrogant person in their tracks. These phrases do not require you to raise your voice. They do not require you to be mean. In fact, their power lies in their calmness. They work because they deny the arrogant person the one thing they crave above all else: your reaction. By the end of this video, you will have a verbal toolkit that turns you from a victim of other people's egos into a master of your own composure. Early call to action. If you are ready to stop letting toxic people control your emotions, take a second to subscribe and like this video. We are building a community of modern Stoics here. People who value strength, reason, and self-control. By clicking that button, you are joining the ranks. Let's begin. Epictetus 1. I see you have a strong opinion on this. The first phrase is a masterclass in what the Stoics called objective representation. Arrogant people thrive on conflict. When they make a bold, controversial, or rude statement, they are laying a trap. They are baiting you. They want you to say that's not true, or how can you say that? This validates them. It puts them at the center of the stage. It confirms that their opinion is important enough to upset you. To disarm them, you must refuse to step onto the stage. When they finish their rant, look at them calmly, pause for a second, and simply say, I see you have a strong opinion on this. And then this is the key: stop talking. Why does this work so well? Psychologically, this phrase is a mirror. It reflects their behavior back to them, without engaging with the content of what they said. Notice the wording. You are not saying you are right. You are not saying you are wrong. You are simply observing a fact. You have a strong opinion. This is derived from the Stoic discipline of assent. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to strip away his judgments and see things as they nakedly are. An arrogant rant is not a personal attack. It is just a person with a strong opinion. By labeling it as an opinion, you act as a neutral observer. You are the scientist looking at a specimen. You are saying, subtextually, I notice you are getting worked up. I am not. This usually flusters the arrogant person. They are expecting when you give them a neutral observation, they have nothing to push against. They often stumble, or they are forced to tone down their aggression, because they realize they are the only one in the room who is emotional. You have effectively categorized their outburst as just another opinion, stripping it of its power to hurt you. Socrates, the godfather of Western philosophy and a huge influence on the Stoics, was famous for never preaching. He simply asked questions. He would ask question after question, until his opponent trapped themselves in their own logic. Arrogance often relies on vagueness and passive aggression. The arrogant person will make a snide remark about your job, your appearance, or your choices, disguised as advice or a joke. If you get defensive, you look weak. If you ignore it, you look submissive. The middle path is the analytical question. When they say something rude, look them in the eye and ask, I'm curious, what is your goal with that comment? This is devastating. Here is the psychology behind it. You are forcing them to move from their emotional brain, the amygdala, to their logical brain, the prefrontal cortex. They have to process the question. They now have to explain why they were being rude. This puts them in a double bind. They have 2 bad choices. Admit malice. They have to say, I wanted to hurt your feelings, or I wanted to make you look bad. Socially, this is suicide. People almost never admit this. Retreat. They have to backpedal. "Oh, I was just joking," or "I was just trying to help." Once they retreat, you have won. You have exposed the arrogance for what it is, a weak attempt at dominance. The phrase "I'm curious" is essential here. It keeps you from sounding angry. You are not attacking them. You are just curious. You are a philosopher trying to understand human behavior. This technique is pure Stoic rationality. Epictetus taught that we should not be angry at bad behavior, but rather pity it as a form of ignorance. When you ask what is your goal, you are essentially asking, why are you choosing to act this way? It shines a bright light on their darkness. And like cockroaches, arrogance scatters when the light turns on. Phrase 3. You might be right. This third phrase is the Judo Throw. In Judo, you do not block your opponent's force. You use it against them to throw them to the ground. Arrogant people are looking for resistance. Imagine a man pushing against a door. He is pushing with all his might because he expects the door to be locked. If you suddenly open the door, he falls on his face. The phrase "you might be right" is opening the door. Let's say an arrogant colleague is lecturing you on how you are doing your job wrong. They are going on and on, expecting you to argue. Instead, you nod and say, "You know, you might be right." Silence. What can they say now? They cannot argue with you because you just agreed with them. The conflict is instantly over. The energy leaves the room. But here is the nuance, and this is where the Stoic wisdom comes in. You are not submitting. You are not saying "I am a failure." You are saying, in the infinite possibilities of the universe, there is a chance that you are correct. This is the grey rock method of philosophy. You become as boring and uninteresting as a grey rock. The arrogant person wants drama. They want to prove their superiority. By saying "you might be right," you deny them the satisfaction of the conquest. It also signals a supreme confidence. Only a secure person is comfortable admitting they might be wrong. An insecure, arrogant person is terrified of being wrong. By casually accepting the possibility, you demonstrate that your ego is not fragile. Epictetus famously said, "If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, 'He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone.'" That is the ultimate power move. Agreeing with the critic removes their weapon. If you are not afraid of being wrong, they cannot use being right to hurt you. Use this phrase when the topic doesn't actually matter. If they are arguing about politics, the weather, or something trivial, just give it to them. You might be. Preserve your energy for things that actually matter. Phrase 4. Thank you for your perspective. Phrase number 4 is the professional wall. Sometimes you cannot just walk away. You might be dealing with an arrogant boss, a client, or a family member you have to see at Thanksgiving. You need a phrase that closes the conversation firmly but politely. The phrase is "thank you for your perspective." This sounds polite, but it creates a massive boundary. Let's break down the words. Thank you for your perspective. This is just your view, not the objective truth. By calling it a perspective, you are subtly categorizing their arrogance as subjective. You are reminding them, and yourself, that they do not own the truth. This is the Stoic practice of the view from above. The Stoics reminded themselves that every person sees the world through their own clouded lens. The arrogant person thinks their lens is clear, but it is not. When you say "thank you for your perspective," you are essentially saying, "I have heard your data. I have filed it away." The conversation is now over. It is a period at the end of a sentence. It does not invite a follow-up. If they keep pushing, you simply repeat it. "But you're not listening to me. I heard you and thank you for your perspective." It is a brick wall. Eventually, they will tire themselves out because they are getting no emotional grip on you. This phrase protects your inner citadel. Marcus Aurelius visualized his mind as a fortress. You can lower the drawbridge to let friendly ideas in, but you keep the drawbridge up for hostile ones. This phrase is the sound of the drawbridge closing. Phrase 5. Silence. The pause. The final phrase is not a phrase at all. It is the absence of words. It is the absence of words. It is the Stoic pause. When an arrogant person says something shocking, rude, or incredibly self-centered, your best response is often, nothing. Look at them. Maintain eye contact. Keep your face neutral. Count to 3 in your head. 1. Then, go back to what you were doing, or change the subject entirely. Anyway, as I was saying, why is this so powerful? Silence is a vacuum. Humans hate vacuums. When you stay silent, The arrogant person's words hang in the air, without your immediate reaction to cover them up. Their words sound loud and awkward. They start to hear the echo of their own rudeness. They start to feel the social awkwardness of the situation. Often, they will start babbling to fill the silence. They will explain themselves, or make a nervous joke. They crumble. Silence signals status. In any social hierarchy, the person who reacts less is perceived as having higher status. The king does not scream at the jester. The king simply looks at him. Seneca wrote about the importance of time in dealing with anger. He said the greatest remedy for anger is delay. When you pause, you are buying yourself time to process. You are ensuring that your response comes from reason, not emotion. You are proving to them, and to yourself, that you are in control of the tempo of the interaction. The arrogant person wants to speed you up. They want a fast-paced argument. You slow it down. You stop time. You wield the silence like a sword. The psychology of the untouchable. Now let's weave these 5 phrases together into a mindset. What do all these phrases have in common? I see you have a strong opinion. What is your goal? You might be right. Thank you for your perspective. Silence. They all share one trait. Detachment. The arrogant person is trying to hook you. They are throwing out fishing lines, insults, brags, challenges, hoping to snag your ego and reel you in. These phrases are scissors. You cut the line. When you use them, you become untouchable. This is not just about winning a conversation. It is about preserving your soul. The Stoics believe that our most valuable possession is our character. If you let an arrogant person drag you down into the mud of an argument, you have sullied your character. You have become like Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. If they are loud, be quiet. If they are emotional, be rational. If they are arrogant, be humble." By using these phrases, you are modeling a better way of. You are holding up a mirror of dignity to their face of ugliness. Sometimes, that mirror is enough to make them change. But even if they don't change, you remain safe. How to practice the Stoic challenge. So how do you actually implement it? Because in the heat of the moment, it is hard to remember a script. I want you to start with just one phrase. Pick the one that felt most natural to you. Maybe it's the curiosity of what is your goal with that comment. Maybe it's the indifference of you might be right. Write it down on a post-it note. Put it on your desk. Or set it as your phone background. The next time you encounter arrogance, and you will, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, treat it as a game. Treat it as a training sim. When you feel the anger rising, when you feel the urge to argue, visualize the Stoics standing behind you. Visualize Marcus Aurelius putting a hand on your shoulder. Take a breath and deliver the phrase. Watch what happens to the other person's face. Watch the confusion. Watch the deflation. But more importantly, watch what happens to you. Feel the surge of pride that comes from controlling yourself. Feel the power of not giving away your energy. That feeling is gravitas. That is the feeling of a mind that cannot be conquered. Arrogance it is the sound of an ego screaming for validation. You do not need to scream back. You do not need to fix them. You simply need to stand firm in your own reality. Use these phrases, not as weapons to hurt, but as shields to protect. Protect your peace. Protect your time. Protect your sanity. Because at the end of the day, the arrogant person is punished by their own nature. They are doomed to chase validation forever, and never find it. You, the Stoic, are free. You have everything you need within yourself. I want to know which of these phrases you are going to use. Are you going to use the spotlight, the mirror, the silence? Let me know in the comments. Write I choose silence, or I choose curiosity. Make a commitment to the community. And if you want to go deeper into the art of Stoic communication, if you want to learn how to speak with such authority that people listen without you ever raising your voice, then you need to watch this video appearing on your screen right now. It is the guide to Stoic charisma, and it will change the way you interact with the world. Click there, continue the journey, and I will see you on the other side.